This is the plaintiff, Michael Giordano. He says he was looking for a tenant, and the defendant, a real estate broker, found him a tenant from you-know-where. He guaranteed the rent every month from the tenant. The woman didn't pay, and the defendant owes him the $5,000 he's now out because he relied on him and his guarantee. This is the defendant, James Faulkner. He says he found the plaintiff a Section 8 tenant, and that means the rent's guaranteed to be paid. If Section 8 stopped paying rent to him, that's on him and his relationship with Section 8. Maybe he didn't make repairs to the apartment or something. Bottom line, he's not responsible and says the plaintiff is suing the wrong person. He's accused of finding a real bad tenant.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff asked the defendant, a real estate broker, to find him a tenant, and the tenant ended up stiffing him, and he wants the defendant to make it right. But the defendant says, not his problem. It's the case of get real.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Mr. Giordano, you are suing Mr. Faulkner, your real estate agent, for $5,000, the statutory maximum, because according to you, he got you a tenant that didn't work out.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me what happened.
This tenant that he guaranteed to me, he suggested I take her as a makeup tenant that for the previous tenant that he got me who destroyed my place half a year earlier. He said, you should take her as a makeup because her money is guaranteed. And after 5 months of paying...
What do you mean as a makeup?
Well, he got me the tenant, the previous tenant who destroyed my place and left it in shambles.
How is that his fault, that the previous tenant, just because he was the broker in the transaction?
Well, he got me the tenant. He said a great young couple guaranteed by the boss, the former landlord. I said, okay. And a couple of months later, they were fighting and destroyed my place. And
But how is that his fault?
Well, I got the tenant from his recommendation.
Okay, but who pays his fee? Do you or does the tenant?
I think the tenant does.
Okay. So then he gets you this tenant that's in question. And this tenant was somebody who was receiving Section 8, correct?
Right.
Had you ever dealt with Section 8 before?
No, but I had heard that they're good to deal with because their money is guaranteed.
Well, they could be great. They could be a terrible pain. It just kind of depends. You know, they have to, but it's a different animal. You are, you know, subject to inspections. They have to approve it beforehand.
Yes.
If something's not to their liking, they won't pay the rent, et cetera, et cetera. So you enter into an agreement with both her and Section 8, right?
Yes.
All right, and then what happens?
I prepared the place for this second tenant. It passed inspection. She moved in, and she paid for 5 months, and then all of a sudden, Section 8 cut off her assistance.
Why?
They said they discovered that she has other income, so they stopped paying for her.
Did she get a job, and so her circumstances changed, or?
She said she got a second job, but she said, I can't.
So when they found out she got a second job, then they said, you can pay your rent and we don't need to help you. There's other people we got to help.
Right.
So they stopped paying. But so what's the agreement that you as a landlord enter into with Section 8? That they have to pay for a whole year or she has to pay?
Well, they said that they
Let me see your Section 8 paperwork.
Oh. Well, this is notice of vendor payment change or termination. They reduced her payments.
They reduced her payments.
Yes, they reduced her payments.
And
then,
so she was supposed to be paying more of the rent.
Right.
And then she said, I can't afford this place, and what? Did she move out?
No, she squatted for 4 months, and it's in the second floor of my house. So I observed and heard people coming in and socializing in my second floor of my house as they were squatting. And I said, when are you going to pay the rent? She said, I'll pay you the rent as soon as I can.
So she's still there? Why don't you just evict her?
I did. It cost me the sheriff's eviction expense.
Yes, that's what everybody has to do.
Yeah, right.
All us mere mortals have to go to landlord-tenant case.
I did. I went through the process of evicting her, and that took 4 months.
Oh, but you got her out now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That was my question.
Yes.
You're not, like, helpless. All right.
No.
So how do you figure that Mr. Faulkner owes you a guarantee on a tenant that he gets you?
So is the real estate agent responsible for the damage that a tenant does to a unit?
No, I don't think so, because there's contracts in place. There's something that the broker would have had the tenant sign.
Fair enough, but the landlord relies on the real estate broker, and if he gets a crappy tenant, should the real estate broker have to pay?
Well, I feel like the real estate broker, yes, had to because he got the tenant.
Okay, who's the tiebreaker?
To make a long story short,
Good.
I don't think so.
Okay. That's short, going inside the courtroom.
He told me she's guaranteed because she's Section 8. So I depended on him. If I would have got her in the paper as, you know, an anonymous person, I would have figured, okay, I'll roll the dice. But I took his guarantee to mean that it would happen every month with payment.
How does that mean he personally guaranteed it?
He said, I guarantee her money.
Did you act as a personal guarantor on a tenant for this gentleman?
No, Your Honor. Sorry. No, Your Honor. Excuse me.
I mean, have you ever guaranteed a tenant's payment?
No, Your Honor.
Why does he think that you did?
I don't know, Your Honor.
What's he mad at you for a prior tenant?
The prior tenant, he went down to even see his employer who worked blocks away, and the employer said, I will take care, make sure that everything works out there, and just the opposite happened. That tenant, when his wife moved in, wow, I heard, I wasn't around for it, but I did help in that matter. I got that tenant out myself, alone, because I got the father, the tenant's father, who was on the application, and I got the father to agree, I think we should get him out right away, and the father cooperated and got him out. Because
I'm surprised you were even that involved.
I
Were they friends of yours or something?
No.
Who pays your fee?
The tenant. But I'm obligated to the landlord.
The tenant, but you're obligated to the landlord.
It's a tricky thing, yeah.
Okay. Well, he wants you to pay him $5 grand. And I'm trying to figure out why a realtor would ever have, who finds you a tenant, would ever be personally responsible. And your answer is just to repeat over and over, he said it was guaranteed money, so I find that to be a personal guarantee?
And in the course of these arrangements, Mr. Faulkner had called me up when I complained that I had to now evict the person who was guaranteed. He said, well, I'm having a closing this week. I'll give you some money for your losses. I said, that would be great. And that's where it ended.
I think you're taking advantage of him because he's a nice guy and says, I'll give you some money for your losses. Why would you say that? You don't have to say that. You don't know him a penny. You are a realtor. You are getting him a client, and then after you get, your only guarantee is that you're getting him a client. So you got him the client, your business is over. What happens between those two parties after that has nothing to do with you. Your business is over, you see? That's how the law works. Like, your phone calls to him keep making him feel obligated, but did you think I feel obligated? Because I don't. How on earth do you think I would ever make a realtor be personally liable because someone on Section 8 lost her Section 8 and you had to evict her? Are you kidding me? Like, how on earth would I ever take money out of this guy's pocket and put it in yours because the person you ended up choosing as a tenant turned out not to be a good idea because, heaven forbid, she got a second job?
I took the tenant
Stop.
under his...
Just stop.
Oh, okay.
Verdict for the defendant.
Okay.
So the plaintiff fails to prove his case to the judge. Mr. Giordano, you just learned a tough lesson, I think.
Yes, I did.
What are you thinking?
I took this gentleman's word, and it turned out to be worthless.
Well, I mean, let's face it, you made the arrangement to take the tenant in and make the deal, right?
I asked him to find me a person rather than do it myself.
So
I relied on a professional.
So he did. So he recommended one to you. Still, it's your decision to take that tenant in. Right?
I used his investigation of the tenant to choose her. I took his recommendation to choose her.
Well.
And this is how it turned out.
You learned a tough lesson.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
All right.
Will you ask him for any more tenants?
Absolutely not.
I'm not surprised. Thank you very much.
All right, have a good day.
Okey-dokes. All right, Mr. Faulkner, you're smiling. What are you thinking right now?
I don't know why I'm here. That's all. It doesn't make any sense. Like the judge had said, it doesn't make any sense at all.
The judge agrees with you, totally.
I know.
Doesn't make sense.
The law does. I know it doesn't.
Yeah.
So there's nothing more I can say.
Nothing more to say, is it?
I started laughing there. She looked at me and I laughed. I don't know why I'm here.
Yeah, okay. Well, good enough. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. You won't make any more recommendations to him, will you?
No, I guess not.
I guess not, is right. Okay, thank you. Harvey?
So look, Doug, I mean, the real estate broker isn't responsible for what the tenant does. It is the landlord's duty once the tenant comes in to do a proper background check to figure out what's up.